Before I get this video started, on the eve of what's now been labeled the worst mass shooting in American history, I want to applaud WWE for one thing. That they actually took the time to honor and respect the victims of the terrible shooting in Orlando, Florida this past weekend. And I just want to send out my thoughts and condolences to the victims of that horrible tragedy, the 49 people that died, the over 53 people that were injured. Uh, I have no condolences for the shooter because I honestly believe that nobody, for any reason whatsoever, has the right to take another person's life, whether it be for gender, race, religion, political views, any reason whatsoever. You do not have the right to take another person's life. And I just want to say kudos to WWE for actually taking the time to honor and remember the victims from this past weekend. And I just want to do exactly the same thing here before we get everything underway on this Monday Night Raw review. So get ready, guys and gals. It's time for WGS-TV Reviews Monday Night Raw. Hey, YouTube, are you ready for your hot tag? Because if you are, it's definitely time to work.
Hey everybody, we're the Bayou Boys. I'm Boudreaux.
And I'm Thibodeau. And there's three things that we love doing: eating boudin, eating crawfish, and watching WGS-TV.
Greetings, YouTube. You have worked your way back into another episode of WGS-TV right here on youtube.com/WrestleGamer. I am your friendly neighborhood WrestleGamer, and what we're going to be doing on this video in particular, guys and gals, it's going to be the review of Monday Night Raw, the go-home show for Money in the Bank for the week of June 13th, 2016. So I got quite a few things to talk about, so with that being said, let's go ahead and get this review started. Now, when it pertains to the opening with the New Day and Enzo and Big Cass, I have no idea what that was. I honestly don't. But there was a lot of comedy in that. I will admit it was funny, and there were a lot of moments that actually made my head like I was like, oh my god, I can't believe that they even said that. And I think the biggest one of all that gave me the biggest headache, it's like either the biggest headache or the biggest face palm. They were trying to build up a little thing between Enzo and Xavier Woods over Francesca too. I don't know what they were doing with that, but apparently Enzo took Francesca too out on the town. And then Xavier Woods loudly proclaimed on the microphone that he was the only one that blows his girl. And I was like, when I heard the Vaudevillians music, and I was like, thank you. Because I don't know how much more of that I could have taken. I honestly don't know how much more I could have taken from that one. It was just one of those things like, okay, I can understand the build for the Fatal 4-Way Tag match, but Enzo and Xavier Woods talking about dating a trombone, I just don't get. I did think the bit they did about Kofi Kingston's shoes was kind of funny, but this would progress to an 8-man tag match with New Day in the form of Big E and Kofi Kingston in his tennis shoes, taking and Enzo and Amore and Big Cass taking on the Vaudevillains and the Club in the form of Luke Gallows and Machine Gun Carl Anderson. I gotta say, for what it was a very decent tag match. It worked it really well. It was a great final build for the Fatal 4-Way Tag match, especially with the way everything worked out. But the finish of the match came down to the Club hitting the Magic Killer on Kofi Kingston to pick up the win. And I gotta wonder, I even accessed on the Facebook page and the Facebook group last night for WGS-TV. I just wonder if the IWC would collectively jizz their pants if the club walked away with the Tag Team Championship. Signs point to yes. Now, there was a lot of backstage stuff as usual, and I guess within the weeks leading up to the live SmackDown premiere, we're going to see a lot of old faces returning that used to be in quote, in positions of authority, storyline-wise. Last week we had Teddy Long. This week we had Corporate King. I wonder who we're going to see next week. Probably Paul Heyman lobbying for the job. I'm trying to remember. And you know what would be a real shocker to see? Eric Bischoff. I mean, I know WWE just recently released a DVD pertaining to Eric Bischoff's controversial career in sports entertainment, or professional wrestling, as some people like to call it, like yours truly. So I wonder if we might see Eric Bischoff in the next coming weeks. The possibility is there. But if we can bring back Teddy Long, why not bring back Eric Bischoff? Now, Titus O Neil was scheduled to have a match. I don't know against who, but he would get blindsided by Rusev, and that was that. The only bad thing about that segment was we didn't get to see any of Lana. We did not get to see any of Lana. Now, there was... No, I'll get to that point when I talk about that match. I'll leave that... You'll know what I'm talking about when I get to the match. We would now have what I thought would have been the main event segment, which probably should have been the main event segment, the Shield on the Ambrose Asylum. You know what I mean? Dean Ambrose hosting the Ambrose Asylum with Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. It was a really great segment for what it was. A great final build for the heavyweight championship, the WWE World Heavyweight Championship between Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. And I gotta say, it was a great segment. Both men, every one of them, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, delivered an excellent segment, an excellent promo. And I gotta say, I believe Roman Reigns might have won some fans over, even though the majority of the New Orleans crowd kind of booed him out of the arena. I gotta say, after the promo was done, I gotta say, Roman Reigns, it sounded like he won some fans back, because it was still a really great promo. I gotta say, for what it was, it did the job. Now, the ending altercation, it was Roman Reigns hitting the Superman punch on Seth Rollins, which then followed up with Dean Ambrose hitting the Dirty Deeds on Roman Reigns, would then lead to what was now known as the main event for this week's Monday Night Raw, in the form of Dean Ambrose and Chris Jericho. Which, I saw the previous match when they had on SmackDown a few weeks ago, and it wasn't too bad. So, again, Dean Ambrose and Chris Jericho, two top-tier talents. There's no denying that. And to have them in the main event for your Monday Night Raw go-home show for Money in the Bank, to me, it's a really great idea. So it would have been either that, so I can understand why the Ambrose Asylum was in the position it was on Monday Night Raw, because technically, if they weren't going to go that route, this could have been the main event segment. It really could. Now, we had Charlotte and Paige with Becky Lynch and Natalya on commentary. They did a pretty good job hyping up the tag match for Money in the Bank. It's them against Charlotte and Dana Brooke. Dana Brooke would not have another oopsie, and Paige would hit the Ram-Paige on Charlotte to pick up the win. And unless my math is wrong, this is the second time that Paige has gone over on the women's champion Charlotte in a non-title match capacity. So technically, storyline-wise, when will WWE put them in a match for the title? I'm just saying. This is the second time that Paige has got a victory, has gone over on the women's champion in a non-title match. How many times are they going to have Charlotte lose to Paige in a non-title match before they put them in a title match? I don't understand the logic. I say logic, and when I'm thinking about WWE, you really can't put logic and WWE in the same sentence, because sometimes every creative has the absence of logic. Now, what I was talking about earlier, that apparently there was some backstage segment where Zack Ryder was talking to. For those of you who don't know, in the New Orleans area, one of the major promotions is Wildcat Wildcat Pro, which is a promotion run by the great Luke Hawks. And I'm not just saying that to butter him up. Wildcat Pro Sports is a really great promotion. Any chance I get to watch it. And just recently I heard that they got a TV deal for my TV, my network TV over in the New Orleans area. So that's a big deal for any promotion to get a television deal, let alone Wildcat Sports. And they're prominently known in the New Orleans area. And those were 3 guys that Zack Ryder was talking to from Wildcat Sports. And I believe that the small Asian guy was Buku Dao. And told that his name has a unique translation. I'm not really going to say it on the air, or on the video, or at all. I'm just going to leave it up to your imagination as to what the meaning of that is. But this basically was with Zack Ryder and Sheamus. This was a straight-up squash match of Zack Ryder. Sheamus hitting the Brogue kick. He starts beating down Ryder even more, and then out comes Apollo Crews to make the save, and which will lead to their Money in the Bank kickoff match. Cesaro and Sami Zayn, what a match this was. What a great match this was. You got 2 great talents in the form of Cesaro and Sami Zayn, and man, oh man, in my personal opinion, they stole the show. How about that finish with Sami Zayn in that leaping sunset flip powerbomb pin for the finish? That was amazing. What a great finish between those 2. A great match, to say the least. Now, when it pertains to the contract signing between AJ Styles and John Cena, apparently John Cena, storyline-wise, put out 2 contracts. One for the singles match between him and AJ Styles, and the other one would have the club at ringside with AJ Styles, and they would kind of play on the fact of his manhood. Well, my little brothers at this point in time are in here, and I definitely don't want to repeat some of the things that were said in that promo, because if my mom heard that, she would kill me. So let's just say it was a shot at his testicular fortitude. Let's just say that. So it would then end up getting AJ Styles to sign the singles match without the club. And I gotta say, yours truly, I've been wanting to see this match for a long time. And how would they work a match between AJ Styles and John Cena? And Styles did bring up a very unique alternate scenario. If AJ Styles didn't go to New Japan Pro Wrestling after TNA, what if he went to WWE? Would John Cena be in the position that he's in right now? It's very difficult to say. It's very difficult to say, because not everybody can really... It's not really known exactly how things could have panned out. That's why it's kind of like an alternate theory, as it were. Would John Cena be in the position that he's in today if AJ Styles, went to WWE instead of New Japan Pro Wrestling? Who knows? Who knows? And for once, it was a contract signing that didn't end in a fight. So I'm a little shocked about that. Now, the way the Alberto Del Rio Kevin Owens versus Lucha Dragons match was set up, it occurred backstage. There was a little altercation between Kevin Owens and Alberto Del Rio, and Corporate Kane, who was there still applying for the job to be the SmackDown General Manager. Kind of made the suggestion that, they would have like an inner conflict and they would need a team building exercise by taking on the Lucha Dragons, and if Del Rio and Kevin Owens lost, they would lose their spots in the Money in the Bank ladder match to the Lucha Dragons. Shane McMahon agreed to it, and I gotta say, I'm glad it wasn't a straight up squash match of the Lucha Dragons. I'm glad that they threw in some match drama into it, which made it that more interesting to watch. Because there were a few moments where you actually thought that they were going to lose the match in itself, and that the Lucha Dragons were going to be in the Money in the Bank ladder match. But it came down to Kevin Owens hitting the pop-up powerbomb on Sin Cara to get the win, and Del Rio would thank his partner by kicking him right in the head. Now, with Chris Jericho taking on Dean Ambrose, okay, 2 things. We would have both Kevin Owens. Why do they keep putting Kevin Owens on commentary? Why? just don't get it. Kevin Owens is not good on commentary. I'm sorry, but I am not sold on Kevin Owens on commentary. I'm just not. You know, and it's nothing against him, but when I hear him on commentary, I don't know who's worse, him or Michael Cole. I really don't know what else to say about that, but it was him and Sami Zayn on commentary. We had Cesaro as a special guest ring announcer, and Alberto as a special guest timekeeper. So basically, in your main event segment with Chris Jericho taking on Dean Ambrose, it was basically a big build for the Money in the Bank ladder match. Jericho and Dean Ambrose have always worked really great matches, and this matchup did not disappoint whatsoever. It was a great match. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was great for the main event and for what it did, especially with the post-match activity, with everything that happened at the end, especially with Chris Jericho climbing up to the top of the ladder to take down the Money in the Bank briefcase, and of course with that big spot with Sami Zayn with the sunset flip, with the somersault plancha, that's what I meant to say, onto the other members in the Money in the Bank ladder match, which allowed Chris Jericho to climb up the ladder without any interference to grab that briefcase. Again, it served the purpose it needed to do, and that was to build into the Money in the Bank ladder match for this weekend. So WWE did a good job with that. Overall score on Monday Night Raw this week, the go-home show for Money in the Bank is going to get a 3.75 out of 5. I'm definitely going to give best match of the night, surprisingly, to Cesaro and Sami Zayn. Like I said, they worked a really great match, and I loved the finish. It was really, really great. And worst segment of the night, I'm sorry, I have to go to Kevin Owens on commentary. Again, like I've said, I'm not sold on him on commentary, and every time he's on there, it's just bad. It's just really, really bad, and I don't know why WWE keeps putting him on commentary. It's not a sellable thing. Now, that's just my personal opinion on it. So, I'm just saying, I really don't know what else to go with that. But anyway, what I want to know from you guys out there, you guys at home, the viewers and subscribers, your thoughts on Monday Night Raw this week. What are your overall scores? What are your picks for best and worst match or segment of Monday Night Raw? Because this week I don't have a comment question, with Money in the Bank coming up. So it'll definitely be something we're seeing, what's going to happen at Money in the Bank this weekend. And I might be able to bring back live reactions Google Hangout this weekend. Pay attention to the channel, definitely. So be sure you put your comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Don't forget that Sports Entertainment Tonight is going to be live right here on youtube.com/WrestleGamer at 8 o'clock Central Time. So be sure you tune into the live stream with me, Nick Fuquay, and Mark Trahan. We're going to go more in depth and more in detail about NXT TakeOver The End. We're going to talk more about Money in the Bank and definitely discuss their reactions to Monday Night Raw. So if you guys want to get in on that, be sure you tune in tonight at 8 p.m. Central Time right here on youtube.com/WrestleGamer. So be sure you look forward to that as well. So also, guys and gals, you can ask. Don't forget to check me out on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You guys can ask me questions. Links will be provided in the description box below. And as always, guys and gals, I'll have a couple of videos in the annotations at the end of this video for you guys to check out as well. So with that being said, I am your friendly neighborhood Wrestle Gamer, and I will see you at the next Warp Zone. Bye, guys!
Oh, jeez. I looked over at Kyo and my eyes nearly popped out of my head. Mine are doing the exact...
Ah!